Generally, every enterprise organization has a well-defined change management process, right? And the purpose of the process is to ensure that all the risks are accounted and changes are well thought before they are even developed, and particularly when they go into production and make impact on critical business applications. So the plan and the process is there, and then the question is what actually happens as a result of the implementation of the changes. And sometimes, even because of the best intentions, right, the administrators, the engineers will make a change to improve environment to solve the issue, but this change doesn't follow the standard process. And because it actually not following the standard process, and because it's the risks are not properly assessed, and all the impact is not accounted for, the changes have an inherent risk of causing an issue, a major issue. And therefore, it's very important to identify these changes that happen in the environment bypassing the standard processes. The ability of Evolven lays in the fact that we are tracking actual changes. So first of all, we know what changed as a result of planned, unplanned deployment executed manually or automatically anywhere in the environment, from application down to infrastructure, from on-premise data center to cloud. Now, knowing what actually changed, we can correlate it back to the change records, authorized deployments, CI/CD activities, ensuring that the actual changes we are detected were authorized, again, reviewed, authorized, and approved as part of the enterprise change management process. And executing this correlation or executing this verification manually is practically impossible, right? So many changes are happening out there in the environments. You can't really manually go and follow these changes. And even reconciling them manually is a huge task. So automating the change reconciliation between the actual changes we detected and change records, again, authorized deployment and other sources of change approvals, we save a lot of time. And we also ensure that whatever happens in the environment was approved, was thought through, and will not have unintended impact. We're looking at the dashboard summarizing KPIs based on actual changes detected by Evolven, including such KPIs as detected unauthorized changes, which are calculated by correlating actual changes with, for example, change requests in service decks such as ServiceNow. Specifically, in this dashboard, we see that there is a number of applications monitored by Evolven, and we see that SOA core banking has 83 unauthorized changes detected. So in order to investigate what are these unauthorized changes, we can drill down, and Evolven will take us to the analysis module, where we can look at the changes in different views or forms of views, through the topology, or in this case, I prefer a tabular view, where we can also break down this data by deployments or by the change requests that authorize the changes. So having this view, we see, first of all, summary in the table that lists all the different technology layers comprising the application SOA core banking, as well as specific change requests, or this more specifically, short summaries of the change requests that Evolven correlated with the actual changes it has detected in this application environment in its different technology components. And so, for example, we see 12 actual granular changes detected in MQ that correlate to a change request creating some changes in MQ, or we detected 85 actual changes Microsoft SQL that correlate to CRDB change request. There is also a number of changes actual changes detected by Evolven that don't correlate to any change request. So first of all, let's see the authorized correlated changes. We see the complete audit trail. At the bottom, we selected 85 authorized changes Microsoft SQL. At the bottom in the table, we see the details of these changes. the granular description, and also we see how they were authorized. So we see the CRDB changes, this request authorized the specific actual changes. You can click on this change request and see the details as they were ingested, in this case from ServiceNow. The description, the affected CIs, planned or executed time frame, severity or priority of the change request, and so on. On the right side, you also see the automatic tagging of the changes by Evolven Analytics that help also quickly understand the composition of the data and slice and dice it. So, for example, we see that 83 of the changes, of authorized changes, come from tables, 2 from database properties. But what we most about is always the changes that were not authorized. So let's start investigating them, for example, by picking up changes in IBM WebSphere application server. And what we see here is that as a bottom, we see there is a number of changes, some changes in configuration, like a selected change, where in a particular configuration file resources XML, some parameter was increased. We see that this change happened inconsistently across 3 WebSphere servers monitored by Evolven. This is 3 boxes, 2 green, 1 red, in the consistency column. And we see that this change was unauthorized, as there's no change request that would approve this particular change. Some of the changes could be potentially authorized, meaning that Evolven applied its analysis and saw some similarity or some relation to the ingested change request, so that maybe this changes were not authorized by the actual changes detected by Evolven were not authorized by mistake or because of the quality of the data in the other change request. So that's actually rather than immediately alerting on an unauthorized change, Evolven says, hey, maybe there was some mistake, so better review and see if you can associate these changes to some change requests that already were approved. You can take an action of creating a ticket in case of unauthorized change, creating a change request, actually remediating the change if Evolven is integrated with automated deployment platforms, or again, following the processes in other workflow management, process management, or orchestration tools, like, for example, PagerDuty. The dashboard will also show us not just unauthorized changes, but changes that were pre-approved, the changes that Evolven detected as standards, the ones that do not require change requests. Evolven will analyze if change requests actually were completed, even if they were reported as such. Like, for example, if in case of the hotfix, was the hotfix completely applied to all the affected CIs, to all the target servers? And it will list, this was the details, the same details that you saw, the details of unauthorized and potentially authorized changes.